Today we'll be covering one of the most anticipated events of the holidays at Walt Disney World, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, November 2nd, and you're listening to episode 112, 2025 Guide to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. The holidays are starting to hit Walt Disney World in major ways. Christmas decorations have already begun to sprout in the parks, right? And that's going to be completed in the coming days. The merchandise locations have already had Christmas merch for a while now, and that's not going away, right? That's only going to increase over the coming days and weeks. Over in Animal Kingdom, Zootopia Better Zoogether is officially opening this week. That's going to be on Friday, which is November 7th. Reminder that annual pass holder previews will be on the days leading up, so that's November 5th and 6th. And if you're heading to the park soon, make sure to catch the brand new show because, it's likely going to be pretty popular for the first little while.
Oh, yes.
And it is on multi-pass, so if you're purchasing it for the day, make sure to take advantage of that because you can use a lightning lane and, essentially get a shorter wait, which could be nice and save you a lot of time. The Doug and Russell meet and greet has been moved over near Creature Comforts, and that's near the path that leads to the back of the Tree of Life. The existing meet and greet location is more than likely going to be the home of the new Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps meet and greet that's coming to the park on November 7th as well, which makes sense because it's right next to where the entrance to the show is.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Over at Magic Kingdom, a new snack location has just made its debut. This kind of flew under the radar, but Cool Ship over in Tomorrowland has been closed for quite some time now, and it just reopened as Astro Fizz. It was open during the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this weekend, and the new menu features Coca-Cola, Fanta Blue Raspberry, or Fanta Orange frozen slushies. Our son would have been all over that.
Yeah.
The Cherry Cola churros rolled in cherry sugar, Coca-Cola cherry icing, and then topped with cherry popping candies. They also have popcorn, cinnamon glazed nuts, and cotton candy. That's a lot lots of sugar going on there.
Yeah, just a light, I don't even know if I'd call it light, but snack location. Yeah,
absolutely. Disney just dropped its foodie guide for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which we are going to get into today. There is a ton of new treats and sips for 2025. It's a very good menu.
Yeah, for sure. We're looking forward to it because we'll actually be taking part in some of those.
We will be.
Yeah, so for us, our trip is just 10 days out from today. We only have one more week of work and school for the kids, and then we leave on November 12th. So it's going to be a busy week and weekend just getting ready for that. Just getting all the things wrapped up.
Absolutely. It's kind of crunch time, but we're getting things done. This is my week of errands. Pretty much every night I'm going to be out running errands, but that's okay. I don't mind doing that in the evenings. I find it's a little quieter anyways. Just to make sure that I feel like we're ready to go for the trip and then also ready for the chaos after our trip.
Yeah, Christmas, birthday.
It's all good though. We'll get it done.
Yeah, exactly. With that said, let's get into today's main topic, which is this year's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So every year, Disney essentially announces when the holidays officially kick off on property, and this year is no different, right? Disney said the holidays will officially run from November 14th through December 31st, which makes sense, right into New Year's. In practice, the holidays are already underway, right? Decorations are already sprouting all over the property, as we said in our news, right? And having said that, to really take advantage, though, of like everything the holidays have to offer, it is best practice to aim to visit starting around mid-November, which is when most of the offerings pretty much everywhere, including Disney Springs and the resorts, will by then be ready to go, right? The first Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is November 7th, and the first Jollywood Nights is November 8th. So the parks are going to have to be ready to go for these events, right? So if your trip is like a touch earlier in the month, you're still going to see like plenty of decorations around property, especially in the parks, right? Especially if you're attending the first couple party dates as well. So it's not necessary to wait till mid-month or later to get a benefit of visiting during this time. But if you want to see like everything, resorts, everything, like the gingerbread houses and everything everywhere, like mid-month and on is when basically everything is complete.
I would 100% agree with that. Honestly, a question that we get asked often is, when is the best time to go? And of course, that is subjective. But here are some of the things to consider if your dates are flexible. Typically, the beginning of November will be less crowded than at the end of the month, which coincides with American Thanksgiving. So that makes sense. There's a small lull after Thanksgiving at the very end of November and very beginning of December. We were there exactly during that time in 2024, the last few days of November into the first few days of December, and the crowds were manageable for sure.
For sure, absolutely.
From there, the crowds ramp up very steadily, with the weeks of Christmas and New Year's being some of, if not the busiest weeks of the year. So all that to say, beginning of November and then that small gap between Thanksgiving and the start of December is your best bet when it comes to finding lower crowds.
Yeah, exactly. And now we will say, though, that it's lower crowds, but it's important to note that it's not quiet. Okay, so it's not like September quiet. It's just lower crowds than like the very, very peak. It's a popular time of year to visit, and that's just the reality. But these time frames, right, like we're mentioning, will be less crowded than Thanksgiving and then the dates surrounding the actual holidays of Christmas and New Year's. Now, that's for Walt Disney World property as a whole, but it holds true for the after-hours events like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party as well, but with a caveat. So basically, all dates are going to be busy for the party because all dates usually sell out, right? A couple of things to keep in mind here is that we often hear people say these events are too crowded and it doesn't feel any less busy. And in fact, it feels more busy than during regular park hours. So two things there. One, there is a finite amount of tickets for the event, right? So not like they don't sell an unlimited amount of tickets. There is a finite number there. And that's lower than park capacity. So that usually means less people in the park, especially during busier times. And two, during regular park hours, people are actually more scattered across like all the attractions, the shows, the restaurants, and any other offerings, typically speaking, right? Whereas guests during the parties tend not to prioritize attractions and shows as much. So it's going to feel busier than it is essentially during the regular park days, because like everybody's like kind of crowded on Main Street and in the lands enjoying the party specific offerings and not necessarily in like really long queues for the attractions or the shows or whatnot.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The main drags will just feel busier because people are sandwiched everywhere. They are all heavily gathered in these popular areas during the party. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of this year's event. So just broadly, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is a hard-ticketed event that happens on select nights in November and December. The first party this year is on November 7th, and then the last party is December 21st. So all in all, there are 25 parties, 13 in November and then 12 in December. Ticket prices range from $169 to $229 per person, which is up $10 on the high end from last year. Annual pass holders and DVC members can save $10 off the cost of their ticket, which is a nice bonus for sure. As always, if you don't have your tickets for this year's party and you want or intend to go, buy them now. Some dates are honestly already sold out, and this trend will continue. So the sooner you purchase them, the better. As of this recording, November 7th, 10th, 11th, 13th, 14th, 16th, 18th, 21st, 25th, 26th, and 28th, and December 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 21st are all sold out. The available dates are November 20th and 30th, December 7th, 9th, 11th, 12th, 14th, 16th, 18th, and 19th. These are all still available, but honestly, this could change at any moment, even as this episode airs. So again, do not delay.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's a lot already sold out.
No, for sure. And since I wrote this down yesterday, I think the November 20th is also sold out. So
there you go.
This changes constantly. So if you are heading to the parks and like surrounding these dates and you're contemplating Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, I would say decide fast and buy sooner. So
yeah, the one we're going to on November 21st sold out.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, your ticket allows you to enter the park as early as 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. is when the official event actually kicks off, and that you're going to be able to start enjoying most of the party offerings. Like a couple are a little bit before, essentially between that 4 and 7 o'clock hour. But outside of that, most everything starts at 7. If you find yourself inside the park before the party starts and you have a party ticket, you don't have to come back out to get your wristband. You can actually get that from a station inside the park. So no need to come out just to go back in kind of thing. You can just get that from inside. And then regular day guests without party tickets are going to be funneled out starting at 6 p.m. Cast members are going to start to look for wristbands at this time. And then if you don't have one, you're going to be asked to leave, right? So in terms of what you can find at the party, there's party exclusive snacks, which Disney dropped the foodie guide for, which we're going to get into, like we said. And there's also party exclusive merchandise that can only be purchased during party hours. There's special meet and greets, ride overlays, dance parties, as well as quote unquote free cookies and beverages throughout the park, right? And we use
$220 worth of free cookies.
Yeah, exactly. We use that word free lightly, right? Because like Lucy said, you're likely spending somewhere in the vicinity of $200 per ticket just to be in the park to be able to grab these. But anyways, you don't have to pay anything extra for them.
There you go.
Which is nice. Yeah.
But what really makes the party worth it for us personally, and then for many other people as well, is the exclusive entertainment offerings. So you have Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time Parade. It features festive floats with your favorite characters and some seasonal exclusive characters like gingerbread men and our favorite toy soldiers, and of course, the big man himself, Santa Claus.
Exactly, yep.
The parade happens twice, usually at 8:30 p.m. and then again at 11 p.m. If the weather is or looks dicey, we always suggest doing the second parade as it tends to be less busy. Families with younger kids will usually start to make their way out of the parks after the fireworks, so that second parade is usually a lot less crowded. Having said that, if you do have young kids and you don't want to push it much past fireworks time, we totally get that. In that case, we would suggest scoping out your parade spot nice and early or setting up around Frontierland or Liberty Square, which doesn't usually fill up quite as early, but still that gives you a really great parade experience.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to bring it back to something you said. So if the weather is dicey, like you're going to have to just be mindful about your parade time, because honestly, like if it's raining really hard in the first bit of the party, you might have no choice but to hit the second parade. But if it's been nice, but they're calling for raid later, you might be forced to go to the first parade so you don't miss it altogether. Yeah. So yeah, you're just going to have to be mindful, keep an eye on.
Pay attention to the Weather Network or whatever app you use to
track.
And
that's the thing. And it's defeating to say because it's changes minute to minute sometimes.
Yeah. And honestly though, like, I find the Halloween parties are more at risk of like torrential downpours
for sure, just because of the time
than
of
the
year.
Christmas parties are. So usually the Christmas parties don't get the terrible weather that it'll get colder though.
yeah, for sure. No, it definitely can get cooler in the evenings, but you're right. Mickey's not so scary. Typically speaking, well, not typically, it is during August to October. And yeah, there's a lot of typically afternoon rain.
All the time,
which can carry on into the evening and really ruin a party. So
absolutely.
Anyways, all that to say is just be mindful of the weather.
Yeah.
And on the parade note as well, right? We've watched the Halloween and Christmas parades from Frontierland. It's a good strategy for sure, right? Because it's typically a lot less crowded. Aside from that, you also have Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration, which is a stage show that takes place in front of Cinderella Castle. There's 4 showtimes, so that gives you, a few opportunities to catch it throughout the evening. It features favorite characters, right? A wonderful festive score, and of course, some heartfelt and feel-good moments as well. Showtimes last year were 7:40, 9:25, 10:35, and 11:55. They haven't been confirmed 100% for this year, but we do expect that they should be fairly similar, if not identical. Depending on how you want to handle your party strategy, we definitely suggest having a general idea on when you're going to want to see the stage show, because we typically like to do all of the entertainment kind of around the same time. And we actually do this for Mickey's Not So Scary party as well during the Halloween season.
Mm-hmm.
So a sample itinerary could be to watch the 9:25 stage show, catch the fireworks right after, which is 10 p.m., and then head up Main Street, grab a couple of snacks from the confectionery, right? And then scope out a spot for the second parade. Note that the fireworks show is named Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time Fireworks, and this only happens once. Okay, so only once at 10 p.m., so you really don't want to miss it regardless of your park strategy. It's a dazzling show of fireworks, like projections, a musical score. It's a Christmas classic. So yeah, definitely I would prioritize that and then work your other offerings around the 10 o'clock fireworks.
Yeah, that's right. Your stage show and parade strategies both matter less than the fireworks. So we would start with fireworks and then just decide from there how you want to work the other two in. And there are other offerings to be cleared, but this is honestly your main ones specifically for the party. Returning for 2025, you'll also have the Frozen Holiday Surprise, which happens every night featuring Anna, Elsa, and Olaf as the castle transformed into a shimmering crystallized palace, which basically means the projections make it look like it's Elsa's palace. This typically happens twice, one right before park closes to day guests and then again during the party. There's the Disney Junior Jingle Jam at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe and the Tinsel Club over at the Rocket Tower Plaza. You also have the Reindeer Wranglers, which is a small kind of choreographed performance. They have several appearances throughout the evening over in Frontierland.
Yeah, exactly. Those times are typically posted on the My Disney Experience app. Yeah. And then, of course, you have the meet and greets, right? So these are going to have subtle changes year over year, but last year's kind of locations and which characters were available should be a pretty good indication of who you're going to find and where. On Main Street USA at Town Square Theater, you're going to have Mickey as well as Jack Skellington as Santa Claus and Sally, which are hugely popular. In Fantasyland, you're going to find Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Alice and the White Rabbit, Winnie the Pooh and the gang from 100 Acre Wood, Ariel and Prince Eric, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, Cinderella and Prince Charming, Snow White and her Prince, Aurora and Prince Philip, Belle and Mirabelle, And yeah, that's a really good lineup.
It
Mirabelle
is.
is in
That's a
her
big one.
usual spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at Storybook Circus, you're going to have Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and Daisy Duck, Scrooge McDuck, Santa Goofy, and maybe, hopefully, the Seven Dwarfs. They've been hit and miss here in these last few years,
yeah.
so hopefully they'll be there again this year. Frontierland has the Country Bears. Liberty Square has Santa, and that's actually, he has his own area right in behind Ye Old Christmas Shop.
It's a very cute area. It's
Super
a good
cute
photo opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the whole twinkling lights.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Super cute back there. And then also back here in this same area, you're going to find Tiana and Naveen. In Adventureland, you have Aladdin, Abu, Jasmine, Genie, and Captain Jack Sparrow, as well as Stitch. So these, like I said, like they sometimes move around a bit, right? And Minnie actually was over with Mickey at Town Square for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this year. So she may be there for the Christmas party as well. So we should hear more on that very soon. And then in terms of attractions, they're all operating for the most part. Jungle Cruise becomes Jingle Cruise, but that's not exclusive to the party, right? You can actually catch that during regular park hours. But Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, Space Mountain, and Tomorrowland Speedway all get Christmas overlays during the event. We wouldn't prioritize rides because of everything else that's going on, right? And rides you can hit any time of day. And I realize not necessarily the overlays, but I wouldn't wait super long for any of these, including Space Mountain. Which
I would agree.
It usually has the longest wait because of the overlay.
People just want to see it with the holiday overlay.
And I totally get that, right? But at the end of the day, for us, it's still Space Mountain.
Yeah.
So there's other things I would prioritize it, but it is there if that's important to you.
Yeah, I 100% agree with this. I think we may do a couple of rides with the kids because we are there on the 21st and we are not there at all otherwise. And the kids are used to riding a lot of rides at Disney. Yep. But if it was just you and I don't think we would do any rides.
Not typically.
We might just do even just to get on the People Mover.
Yep.
And just and see the lights and just kind of take a little breather.
Like an atmosphere ride.
Yeah, our kids they'll probably get tired. It'll be a late night for them. So that would be just a good way to just take a little breath, eat your cookie.
Yeah. We might do a couple rides in between
just for them to
4 and
get
7.
a little bit excited.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So now when it comes to food, make sure to take advantage of those cookies and festive drink stations that we mentioned earlier. These stations are going to be spread out throughout the park, and each will provide one cookie, which are all different flavors, and a festive drink like eggnog, apple cider, or hot cocoa. The lineups for these can get really long, but honestly, they actually move really, really quickly. So don't let that deter you. And you can visit them more than once. They're not going to pay attention to everybody that's in the line. So if there was a cookie that you did prefer, you can head over there as many times as you want, versus going to any other station where you might have heard that the cookie didn't sound as appealing to you.
Yeah, exactly.
These cookies come prepackaged, so you don't have to eat them right away either. If you don't want to, you can store them in your park bag and snack on them later during the fireworks, or pop them in your fridge in your room and you can take them to have a snack the next day or something. That'll be a good plain snack for us maybe the next day.
Yeah, exactly. And I do feel bad because you remember last year, or no, it wasn't last year, it was 2024, but we each got a cookie at each of the stations. So that's 10 cookies. We didn't eat all of these. They stayed in our fridge, and then I think we left them in there when we checked out. Yeah. There was just too many cookies.
And there's 4 of us now.
Yeah.
We might just have to be like,
I don't know. Yeah, 20 cookies. No, we're not.
Yeah, no, we'll split. If we're going to try all the cookies, we'll just take 2 and then split them.
Yeah. I think that's
which is what you and I should have done that too.
Much more reasonable strategy for sure.
Because there's so much exciting food that we're going to want to try besides the cookies.
No, exactly. And that's the thing, right? You do want to try other snacks. It's just the perpetually being full at Disney, right?
Yes.
We're just always full of carbs and snacks. So
you'll have
a bunch of extra cookies.
I think our strategy will be to have a late breakfast, early lunch.
I think we're going to have breakfast on the cruise ship before we come out. And then we're going to push it to have maybe a late lunch, go into the party, and then do some
snack
snacking.
away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that'll be the best thing.
Our kids will love that. They'll think it's so great eating snacks for supper.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, so another fun thing, like we're basically saying, right, is to take advantage of the party exclusive treats. Okay, so Disney just dropped their foodie guide for the party this week, so let's get into it. Main Street Bakery, again, that's the Starbucks, is going to have the Christmas wreath cupcake, which will be filled with chocolate ganache and topped with marshmallow buttercream and chocolate decor, dusted with peppermint confetti. It looks adorable, and the kids do love a good cupcake, so we're definitely going to be prioritizing this treat for sure. I think we're going to get this one.
Yeah,
it is a party exclusive treat, and they also have the Mickey cinnamon roll with holiday themed icing, and that's available basically anytime throughout the holiday season.
The Plaza Ice Cream Parlor gets the Santa Hat Brownie Sundae, topped with vanilla ice cream, hot fudge, crushed peppermint, whipped cream, and an upside-down red velvet cone that is made to look like a Santa hat. This is very cute as well, and it is a party exclusive. They also have the gingerbread milkshake that is available anytime. The Plaza restaurant will have the holiday beef pot roast, the holiday turkey meatloaf, the pistachio and cherry cheesecake, and the holiday cosmopolitan. This is probably a good time to mention that we don't suggest doing table service reservations during party hours because this is going to take up way too much time in an already short event.
Agreed. Yep.
Not only that, but these are available during the whole of the holidays, so you can go during regular hours without cutting into party time if you want to try specific items at a table service restaurant.
Yeah,
it's going to be on their menu during the daytime too.
For sure. I agree with that 100%. And then across the street over at Casey's Corner, they have the holiday pot roast hot dog, the mini corn dogs, and the French fries. So basically, any of these are topped with pot roast, beer cheese sauce, crispy onions, and horseradish mustard. That's a pass for me on all of these. But if that sounds appealing, that's where you're going to find those. And then for something sweet, they also have the candy cane tart, which they had last year. That's a chocolate tart filled with peppermint ganache and then topped with festive meringue.
We like Casey's Corner for their water.
Yeah.
We appreciate them for their water.
Yeah. And I know some people love the corn dog nuggets, and that's totally cool. But yeah, it's
and
just
I always appreciate the guy that's always playing music outside of it
absolutely.
On the piano,
Yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
I do like Casey's Corner, just not for the food.
Yeah, exactly. And the spring roll cart is going to get the pastrami Reuben spring rolls. So these actually were the ones that were there during the 50th celebration in 2021 and into 2022. And I feel like we're saying this like back to back, but we weren't huge fans of these. We prefer like the classic hamburger and pizza spring rolls. But that is a party exclusive. If that sounds appealing to you, they will have them there.
I assume because they're bringing them back, they were popular.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, they're always popular.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yep.
Over at Aloha Isle, you have the pomegranate Yule float made with ginger ale, Dole Whip pomegranate, and vanilla soft serve, pomegranate pearls, and a slice of lime. This looks and sounds really tasty, and we know that the kids would love this as another snack, so we are going to prioritize this one during the party.
I definitely
for sure.
want to try it.
Is that the one that you showed them a picture of it?
Yes.
Yes, and
I did.
They were both like, okay,
I was perusing the menu and I was like, look at this, and they're like, oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah.
They also have the Santa Surf snack float with pog juice, coconut soft serve, and a spiced pineapple tree cake pop. The Golden Oak Outpost will have the Yuletide chicken strips with sage butter, cranberry barbecue glaze, served with sweet potato fries. They will also serve the festive beignets with blue sugar cookie dust with cookie butter icing for dipping. For a sweet drink, they're going to have gingerbread cola made with gingerbread syrup, whipped cream, and festive sprinkles. All of these are party exclusive.
Yep. And then over at Pecos Bills, they get the carne asada loaded fries with chipotle queso, caramelized onions, avocado salsa, and queso fresco, the Christmas-styled chicken tamale with red chile sauce, pumpkin seed salsa verde, cilantro rice, pinto beans, and queso fresco. For sweets, they'll have the arroz con leche wreath, which is rice pudding mousse with citrus chutney, coconut whipped cream, and a chocolate bow, as well as the Mexican hot chocolate mini churros tossed in Joffrey's hot cocoa powder, cinnamon, and warm spices, served with sprinkles and marshmallow dip. The churros sound tasty.
They do, yeah.
But like notoriously, the churros at Walt Disney World are not the best, aside from the ones over at Nomad Lounge. I really like those ones.
Those ones are good. I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah. And then lastly, they'll have the frozen hot chocolate, or just frozen hot cocoa rather, with toasted marshmallow syrup and chocolate sauce, topped with little marshmallows and festive sprinkles. All of these are exclusive to the party as well. And then over at Liberty Square Market, they'll have the Mickey Whoopie Pie, which will be available only until 8:30 p.m. on party nights, but it's actually not exclusive to the party, so you can pick it up anytime during regular park hours as well through January 3rd.
Over at Sleepy Hollow Refreshments, they're going to have the orange chicken strips with orange soy glaze, glass noodles, green onions, and crispy garlic. Honestly, this sounds amazing.
Yes, I know you love orange chicken.
I love chicken strips in general, especially like theme park chicken strips.
Yeah.
They're so good to me.
Yeah.
So that just sounds epic. They also have a plant-based option with Szechuan cauliflower. And they're also going to serve the peppermint funnel cake topped with vanilla ice cream, peppermint and chocolate sauces, M&Ms, whipped cream, and crushed peppermint sprinkles. They will also serve the Mickey Whoopie Pie, the same one that the market has. And this is also only until 8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Not sure why.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Columbia Harbor House will have the gingerbread cake, which is a tree-shaped gingerbread chiffon cake with cream cheese frosting, whipped dulce de leche panna cotta, crispy pearls, and a gingerbread man chocolate piece. This one honestly looks really cute, but it's actually only available during regular park hours, which Boo.
Yeah, I think it's because Columbia Harbor House is usually a cookie pickup location. And I'm trying to remember in
Oh, you're
2024,
right.
were they offering regular menu items? I don't think they were. It was just the cookie pickup.
Just a vessel essentially to
Yeah.
grab a cookie and get out.
Yeah.
Same with Pinocchio. I thought that's what Pinocchio was.
No,
That's
but
where we
they
got a
do
cookie.
have a flatbread over there. We're going to get to that.
Okay, perfect.
But I think, I don't know. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting though. I just can't remember, but yes, you're right. I think that was a cookie.
Yeah, I don't think they had
pickup.
anything else.
Yeah.
But either way.
I wonder if we can get
note,
that gingerbread cake though, like between the hours of 4 and 7.
It depends.
If you really wanted to try it and you
yeah.
weren't going to the Magic, like for us, we're not going to Magic
We'd
Kingdom
have to
during
look
the
at the opening hours.
just because it looks so cute.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And on that note, Pinocchio Village House gets the holiday ravioli, which is fried breaded ravioli with marinara sauce, basil pesto, parmesan, and parsley.
Okay, that sounds good.
I know. And then the Italian sausage and meatball lasagna flatbread.
Oh.
Hang with me though. So there's no pasta on this. It's just topped with 3 cheese Italian blend of cheeses, ricotta, and pesto. So that would also be pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
And I know like Pinocchio Village House sometimes gets a bad rap, but we like the flatbreads here.
They have excellent chicken strips and fries. The flatbreads are great. Crispy Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You cannot go wrong with Pinocchio Village House.
Yeah. It gets a bad rap, but it's not bad at all. And then for dessert, they're going to have the snowflake ornament, which is a coconut eggnog mousse in a white chocolate shell with sugar decor. And then for drinks, they'll have the burr raspberry, like, you know what I'm saying, like cold. That's a slushy with coconut cream, whipped cream, and sweet blue shredded coconut. All of these are going to be exclusive to the party.
I think we'll be making our way over to Pinocchio Village House.
Yeah, maybe for a flatbread for maybe
something savory versus all sweet.
Yeah, we could do that. We could split it 4 ways.
The kids would probably eat that ravioli.
A good snack. Yeah, I bet you they would, yeah. And then over at Cinderella's Royal Table, they're going to have a special party menu as well. So the crispy pork belly, the roasted lamb chops, the beef short rib Wellington, and the hazelnut carriage cake, as well as the cranberry Christmas cocktail and the cranberry sparkling cocktail.
And Be Our Guest will get the lamb chop cassoulet, the poulet rouge chicken, the baked brie and caramelized apple tart, and the flourless black forest trifle. For drinks, they're going to have the Jolly Holly cocktail and the mistletoe margarita. Both of these dining experiences, so Cinderella Royal Table and Be Our Guest, are quite long. So we do not recommend either of these during your party hours because that's going to chew up so much of your time.
They'll take at least 90 minutes into your party
absolutely.
time. Yeah.
Over at Friar's Nook, they're going to have the jalapeno popper tots topped with jalapeno cream cheese, bacon, cheddar cheese, and a jalapeno popper. The spinach artichoke hand pie filled with spinach and artichoke dip and then drizzled with a red pepper sauce. The pig in a blanket, which is a Parmesan puff pastry wrapped around an all-beef hot dog with crispy onions, honey mustard barbecue sauce, and then served with tots. For drinks, they're going to have the ugly sweater shake topped with whipped cream, sprinkles, apple caramel sauce, and a cherry coating. All new offerings and all exclusive to the party.
Yeah, and then over next door at Storybook Treats, they have the reindeer sundae with chocolate soft serve topped with caramel sauce, pretzels, chocolate and peanut dusted rice cereal, and a reindeer chocolate piece. So
That's
this one,
so fun.
It's super cute. And Storybook Treats they're known for their cute treats, right?
They are.
And this one's no different. And our son actually would probably really enjoy this because he's a chocolate ice cream kid.
Yeah, it's funny. We have one kid who's super sweet.
Yeah.
One who's super savory. Like she would prefer savory. He
has a
him
sweet
all
tooth
the
for
sweets.
sure. And it's like Sophia too. She prefers like vanilla ice cream or like plainer ice cream flavor.
Yes.
And he'll go like for the blue ice cream and like
he's the crazy kid.
Yeah, exactly.
In
The
best
sweeter
way
the better.
possible.
Yeah, exactly. And then over at Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe, they're going to have the snow cheese chicken strips dusted with sweet and savory white cheddar powder, served with a side of kimchi aioli.
That is unique.
Yeah. And
Sorry.
Then, no, it's all good. And then the holiday pot roast melt, which is slow cooked beef on a thick toast with cheddar, Swiss cheese, beef gravy, and horseradish cream sauce. The holiday turkey burger topped with traditional stuffing, Swiss cheese, and cranberry chutney on a brioche bun. The buckle up mousse, which is a flourless chocolate cake with gingerbread mousse, chocolate cremeur, and a chocolate decor. This actually looks exactly, or not exactly, but very close to Santa's buckle. Kind of like if you remember that was over by Sunshine Tree Terrace in 2024. We had that one. It was delicious.
Good. Yeah.
That one was like a cube. This one looks more rounded.
Yes.
But I think it's going to be a very similar flavor profile. And we really like that one. So
it was good.
This might be worth your time and your money as well. And then for drinks, they're going to have the cranberry cider punch made with cranberry juice, apple cider, and Sprite with sugared cranberries and a rosemary sprig.
Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies are going to get 2 beverages, the Milk and Cookie Shake, which is a vanilla shake with caramel, holiday cookies, and chocolate chip cookie dough topped with whipped cream and festive sprinkles. and the cherry cordial cold brew, which is Joffrey's cold brew coffee topped with cherry whipped cream, chocolate sauce, and chocolate curls. And lastly, Astrofizz, which replaced Cool Ship in Tomorrowland, which has been closed for some time, just opened this weekend during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It is going to have a party exclusive during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. They are going to get the cherry white chocolate slushie made with Fanta cherry, served with a crackable white chocolate coated cup with whipped cream, cherry gummy candy, and festive sprinkles. Another one that our son would absolutely love. Like I was saying earlier, he is the biggest Fanta fan.
Yes. Fanta orange is his stuff, but he would like this, I'm sure.
Yeah, he dives into other flavors sometimes as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it, right? As always, there's like a ton of party exclusive snacks, right? During these events, it's not just, like specific to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. All these events have like a ton of snacks. What we recommend doing is perusing the menus, right? Finding like 4 or 5 items that you feel are your must-dos or the ones that you would want to prioritize, right? If you kind of leave it to the last minute, it can be a little bit hard to decide when you're physically in the park trying to navigate like all the things, right, at the same time. So having a game plan going in can make the evening a little less stressful when you're trying to figure out what to eat, right?
Absolutely. It sounds like for us, we have a couple of good savory options and then a good amount of sweet. So I think we're set.
I think the cupcake from Main Street Bakery and the Aloha Isle pomegranate ginger ale thing there.
Yes, I think so.
I forget what it's called already, and
I'm sure we'll add more to the list as we keep, plus all the cookies, like we said, from the cookie
store.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think savory, I think we're going to go with that flatbread and ravioli and then maybe those chicken strips, those orange soy ones.
Yeah, we'll have to. From Sleepy Hollow. Yeah. Anyway. And like Lucy's saying, right? We usually list a few must-try items, and then we fit in a stop at each of the cookie stations, and that's usually more than enough food, right? We'll usually have a later lunch, like we're saying, right? That's going to be our strategy likely for this time as well. So then we don't essentially feel like we need to have a larger meal during party hours. We can kind of just split snacks among the 4 of us.
Absolutely.
And that should make, we have more stomach space to try more stuff, essentially.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Another thing that we haven't mentioned is the merch. So Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party has party exclusive merch that only comes out during party hours and can only be purchased by party guests. These will be laid out at the Emporium on Main Street and Star Traders over in Tomorrowland. We say this a lot, but please trust us. Star Traders is always way less busy and has all of the same merch. So save yourself some time waiting in the Emporium's forever lines and head on over to Tomorrowland. This year's merch is super cute, so definitely stop by and see if there's anything that you might want to pick up to commemorate the evening.
Yeah, 100%. Their spirit jersey for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is red, and it looks super cute.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
There's even a Starbucks exclusive Christmas cup that I might have to get.
Yeah, for sure.
And on that note, we should also mention that on your way out of the park, you will be gifted a party ornament as a keepsake as well. It looks like this year it's going to be a red truck with Mickey in the driver's seat and Goofy in the box with a Christmas tree. This looks super cute.
Yep.
Each guest gets one. So if you have 2, 3, or 4 people in your party, each person gets to take one home, which is a very nice touch. Honestly, if we get 4 of them, which we should. I might send one up for our niece and nephew because they'll think it's so great. And then my mom and dad can have one, and then we'll have 2.
And then we'll still have 2, exactly. Yeah, agreed. Exactly. And now for a few general considerations, right, for just kind of the party as a whole. So like we said earlier, your party ticket gets you access to the park as early as 4 p.m. The vast majority of the offerings won't be open or available at that time, except for a couple of meet and greets. And the most popular of these by far is Jack as Santa Claus and Sally at Town Square. The lineup for this one is going to start like immediately as people start to enter the park. And that line is going to reach 90 minutes, if not more, in pretty much the first few minutes. Okay. So it's definitely not a bad strategy to get right in line for that if that's important to you, because like I'm saying, right, the other party offerings have not started. So if that's important to you, don't use party time when other offerings are going on. Use it essentially during that spare time you have in the first few hours.
Agreed. I think for us, we do like the meet and greets. And if there's one that, like if there's the Stitch one works for us or something that is low wait times, but I think during that time, we will prioritize a couple rides and stuff with the kids. But yeah, definitely that is such a good tip.
For sure.
That 4
and
to 7.
We did that last year at Mickey's Not So Scary. We got right in line for Jack and Sally and we waited 80 minutes, if not more.
Our kids would not be happy waiting in that line.
But our kids would not be cool
and we
with
know
that.
And we're not going to push the meet and greets with them. Like I said, if the opportunity presents itself that we can get into a line that's pretty
Yeah,
quick.
if we're in Adventureland
great.
and like the Stitch meet and greet is like a 20-minute wait or
Done.
something, we'll hop
but
in that.
We're not going to make them wait in those
60,
Jack Skellington
90
ones.
minutes. No, forget it. Yeah. And then, if meet and greets aren't your thing or you're willing to wait later in the evening, maybe during one of the parades or something like that, wait times can dip a little bit, right? But outside of that, between 4 and 7 is a good time to do other things if you're not into the meet and greets, right? You can eat something more substantial if you haven't already, or ride some rides if you know that's important to you and you know that you're not going to do that in the later hours of the party. The party itself is really short, right? Clocking in at just 5 hours. So you're going to want to prioritize essentially what's most important to you and your party.
Yes, absolutely. Like we said earlier, the main entertainment, so Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration, the parade, and the fireworks are by far the most popular, and for good reason. So definitely do not miss these. We strongly suggest planning ahead of time when you intend to watch the show and which parade you want to catch. The fireworks, again, only happen once, so plan around that one for sure. And anything else outside of that is really party dependent. If you have littles, you might want to check out the dance parties, or if you have a meet and greet that they really want to see, you might want to prioritize that. Or maybe you're just not into any of that and prefer to ride the attraction overlays. That's fine too, whatever works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. One thing I will caution though and this is for snacks specifically, if you have a snack you really want to try, make sure to fit that in earlier in the evening because some snacks can and do sell out. I got stung with this. Remember that mailbox flourless cake at Mainstream Bakery? This was back in 2024 and I wanted it so bad, but I saved it I was going to essentially, when we watched the second parade, I was going to grab it and then watch the parade. But then when I went in, it was like whatever it was, 10:30 and it was already sold out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you had your heart set on that one. So I remember you coming back out. Just looking very sad.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you came out with a snack at all or if you were just...
No, there was nothing else. Yeah, I didn't even get a treat or anything.
Nothing. You had your heart set. So yeah, defeated. Definitely. Yeah. If there are ones that like must try, must have, get them early.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. And then we'll close with this, right? So we often get asked if the party is worth it. And I hate to use this cop-out, but it's such a hard question to answer. We know some people have been to the parties and they think like they're overcrowded, the attraction lines, like they're not at that short, right? There's not much to do. And other people absolutely love the parties and want to go again and again. At the end of the day, you just kind of have to be honest with yourself about what the party is and if it sounds like something that you'd enjoy, right?
Yeah, that's right. If you prefer to ride attractions and you're not the type to stop for meet and greets or stage shows, then honestly, this party might not be for you. On the other hand, if you really enjoy your kind of classic Disney entertainment and you really want to see the party exclusive entertainment or have some party exclusive treats, then this might be right up your alley.
Yeah, exactly.
We will say that don't let FOMO get to you. If it sounds unappealing, that's okay. The parties definitely won't appeal to everyone. But what we will say is that in our opinion, they are really fun. And if you truly love Disney and Christmas, there's really nothing better than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at Magic Kingdom. It's quintessential Disney at the most magical time of year. So yeah, it's definitely worth it for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's right up our alley and we love it. And I actually can't wait to be there again at Christmas. We haven't been there in a couple of years at Christmas time. So yeah, it feels like forever ago already. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And this will be, like I said, our kids' first time. And
the first time at Christmas time.
Yes, sorry, at Christmas time. Yeah. So, and at this party. So it's very, very exciting for us to see them experience this
their
for the first
time at an after hours event. So it's awesome. With that said, thank you for joining us today to talk Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And as always, if you could leave us a rating and review, it would be greatly appreciated. If you choose to do so, you can leave reviews right on Apple Podcasts. And for Spotify, you can leave a rating.
You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at letsgo.to-disney, as well as on our Facebook page, Let's Go to Disney. We share some helpful reels here as well as some fun ones. The link tree in the show notes will take you to all of our socials.
Have a great day and we'll see you real soon.